Right then, taking a look at Photoshop's new generative AI tool, we're going to try and expand some iconic gaming moments and see what AI thinks is hiding in these classic images. We're going to kick things off with one of the most iconic moments in gaming history, Shepard's betrayal in Modern Warfare 2. We're going to select the inverse, we're going to generative fill. Right then, immediately we've noticed is that Photoshop isn't too keen on feet, which means we're going to have to sort that out itself. But what I will say, very interesting to know, it's given like some very good legs to Shepard. It's matched the camo, it's matched the boots. He kind of does look like he is stood in complete dirt. The ship looks like it might have been through some damage. And now, I don't know whether it's just the Modern Warfare 2 graphics, but it also kind of looks like it's in Halo now. But the desert background, though, is scarily matched. I mean, you've got the whole grass there. I mean, there's clearly not as much detail. I wonder if we could add more detail to this grass. We've now added random people into the distance. It's the fact that none of them are looking at him is slightly concerning. Right, let's add some feet here. Maybe I should have been more specific with giving him shoes. So what we've done is added a small child. Alternate options, perfect. Not sure how it's gone from what is the exact thing I was looking for to small child laying down with shoes on, and what looks to just be one huge conglomerate leg. It confuses me how the AI can be so accurate and then randomly just throw in a metal bar, or again, a small child halfway through his legs. Where things get interesting is if we can swap out Shepard. That's what I want to know. So if I take the original image and I select subject, so then what we're going to do is we're going to take a magnetic lasso around Shepard and we're going to see if we can replace him with someone else. So at this point, we're now taking one of the most iconic and brutal moments in Call of Duty history and quite simply just putting a clown there instead, which I think quite accurate. That is. And other ones, yeah, that's even more. Oh, no. And that's just Slender Man. That's just Slender Man wearing the remnants of a Ronald McDonald outfit and what looks to be throwing a tomato at him. I know how he fixed this. Generative fill, add circus. Yep, that's as disturbing as I thought it would be. I don't like this I don't like this that they're throwing. It freaks me out. Right, next up though, we're taking one of the most iconic images in gaming history ever, the moment when Mario finds out that his princess is in another castle. Now, I think this one's an interesting one because it's a completely different art style to gaming that we have now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna inverse that, and then we're gonna see what happens when Photoshop tries to fill in the whole area around it. Okay, so I don't like the fact that it's put random text at the top there, as if it's almost in like symbols that are trying to communicate with me of the darkness.
A few moments later.
So I want to see if Photoshop's AI is any good at actually changing text, because I don't think it's something that it'll be able to handle, but I want to see whether it can do it. So if I put change text to Grats Mario, you found the princess. Let's see what happens when I do that. It says, okay, we've got Congax Marleo, Mila Mivalu Rusilium. So, you know, that's pretty much exactly what I was looking for. And at that point, we want some graffiti. We're going to go with Princess Graffiti. Okay, that's as disturbing as I wanted it to be. We'll go with Bowser Artwork Pixel. Yep, and another fantastic piece of artwork there. Now, what I want to know is if we can add a pixelated pink princess to fill in that empty space, and congratulations, or should I say, congrats Mar Leo, or Mar Illo? Congax. Okay, that's good, that's good. And we're gonna create Bowser in the most basic form that I could think of, which is Spiky Turtle Man, and it's currently spawned a pigeon, what looks to be a turkey, and just a bloke. Okay, we'll stick with the bloke. Finally, we're going to do what all Mario needed to do. We're going to update the graphics of all of this and turn those from 2D pixel sprites into 3D artwork. It's currently turned them into a fan, a wheel, or just a gear. Okay, so that's another fantastic use of Photoshop AI. Personally, I'm starting to think maybe Photoshop's AI tools aren't as advanced as I first thought they were. Right, next of us, we're going to be doing something from The Last of Us, one of the most iconic moments from the entire game, one of the most beautiful, most mind-bending moments from the entirety of The Last of Us franchise. No, we're not doing the boat scene. That's the wrong clip. Sorry, that's the wrong one. That's right, we've got the draft. Now, what I want to do here is quite simple. Immediately, first things first, you've got to do the classic Photoshop generative AI rule, which is expand the image. Perfect. And then it's added in a kind of morphed Ellie to the side, but for now, I think we're going to leave that. What I actually wanted to do was take the draft, which is one of the most wholesome moments in the entirety of the Last of Us franchise, and I wanted to, you know, put it more in tone with the rest of the game. So we're going to generatively fill and turn draft into zombie. So it turns out that Photoshop doesn't like the word zombie, which is not ideal when you're making Last of Us AI images, but instead we've managed to get around it a little bit with undead. Now immediately that's created a rather religious aspect of a cross, just a torch, and what looks to be Joel holding a giant mushroom, which I suppose in the world of The Last of Us also isn't ideal, but it's still not what I wanted. Undead man. That's just a pole, that's a stick, that's the cross, that's the cross, that's the big mushroom. I don't think it likes the zombie things. So if we can't have a zombie, we'll do what the next best thing is, and that's turn Ellie into a clown. Right, well, that's as disturbing as I wanted it to be. I'm kind of scared to click through the other ones because I can see the preview images to the side, and I don't really want them to look at me. I kind of like the fact that that clown is turning away from me, just like in the image. But no, that man is not happy, and I really don't like I don't like that one. And that one is just disturbing. We're going to go back to the one where it's looking away from me, and I think we'll move on from that image. So far we've taken some of the most iconic gaming moments, some of the best moments in the entirety of gaming, whether it be a shocking twist or even a sad end for a character. What I really wanted to do though was push Photoshop's AI tool to fix an iconic gaming moment. Now this is something that Ubisoft probably aren't too proud of, but it was the buggy mess that Assassin's Creed Unity launched at. So I've already full screened it, so we don't need to make the full background. But what I want to do is see whether we can take this mess of a person and see what happens. One, when we don't give it any prompts, and two, when I try and make it look like the Renaissance woman that, you know, we were trying to get it to look like originally. I expect nothing. We turned him into Clifford the Big Red Dog if he was an Aristocat. I think he only has one eye or a chicken nugget for a nose. Alternate options are a disturbing Little Red Riding Hood type figure, although she's green, so I don't know where I got the Little Red Riding Hood. It just gives off Little Red Riding Hood fairy tale vibes. In all fairness, though, it's an accurate face. And that looks to be a Shogun warrior randomly in Titanfall-esque armor, not the original image that I was expecting. That is exactly the type of AI we wanted. That is almost perfect, and it kind of has that video game flair to it. I like what we're doing with that one. Okay, a bit too Phantom of the Opera for me. Okay, we've gone for Witchfinder General there. That one actually works really well. Okay, you know what? As far as the AI goes, this is probably the best usage of them when we've given it a relevant prompt. The Witchfinder General one, not great, but I would say that's pretty good. Okay, Photoshop's AI, maybe not as bad as I first thought it was going to be. Okay, so we've got one final one, and I thought with the current re-release of Red Dead Redemption, it would be best to do one of the most iconic moments in gaming history ever. Slight spoilers, if you are playing Red Dead Redemption currently, this is for the end of the game, but also it came out 10 years ago, so, you know, I don't care that much. This is John Marston's Last Stand. Now, Red Dead Redemption didn't get a remaster, so what I wanted to do here was to see whether I could turn the quality into 4K. So what I've done here is turn the graphics, hopefully, into 4K. I imagine this isn't going to work at all, but hopefully we can get some more definition and do what Rockstar could never do. It's given us the window font and just the words Veteran Ain. Alternatively, if you don't fancy Veteran Ain, we've got Tervitheren and what looks to be a broken Matrix background and just two spiral wormholes. Okay. So that didn't work how I wanted it to, and I don't really like looking at all these people pointing guns at him, so we're going to do what we do best, and that is turn all the people into different clowns. So the aim here is to save John Marston's life. You know, currently he's about to end, everything's about to go wrong, and I want to remove all the bad guys and replace them with clowns. Okay, so what I've created seems to be something worse than Undead Nightmare. I wanted it to save him, but I fear I've made it so much worse as I've created what looks to be an army of Pennywises without faces, and one, and I'm going to zoom into him, and I don't know why, one dark, scary clown that I think may be the devil incarnate. Also, these two little mushroom clowns, which I'm actually kind of a big fan of. Well, on that note, I think we'll leave it there. I don't really want to see any more Photoshop clowns. And if you haven't already, make sure to let us know in the comments below what gaming moments you'd like to see us expand next. And if you also haven't already, you should subscribe to our YouTube channel, or as Photoshop says, you should Area Amcrawl Ibaganti Tibergrej your all YouTube day. Yeah, do that, please.